Hey, what is up guys, Sheena here with a video I want to make about the new mons. Not really because I want to go over it that much, because I think a lot of other people have covered it on YouTube channels and whatnot, and streams. But I kind of just want to offer my own opinion from a Reddit comment I saw about the Dark Phibian in particular, but I guess for the sake of it, I'll just go over this light Phibian. He's a defender type. He's got 70% seal for 2 turns and 70% stun. To be frank, he's pretty underwhelming. There's only one place that you really build him for, which is PvP defense, but in my opinion, it's really better to build up your offense anyways for PvP first. Then you go for your defense, because if you have a very good PvP offense, you can climb faster anyways, and you won't decay as much from being attacked if you win enough of those random matches once you climb to Plat 3 and beyond. So, yeah, in my opinion, I don't really think light Phibian is worth investing to, but it's like to me, this is he's just like a poor man's like water nightmare with the seal and whatnot. Like, of course, you really can't compare it like a Nat 5, but it's just he's only good in one place, and he's not even that great in it. Is what I'm trying to say. But what I really want to touch upon was the Dark Phibian here, because I was sort of thinking over with my Sheena 13 account too, and I was kind of sad how I didn't play when there were like really good rebirth mons like the Dark Kraken, Dark Monas, and you know, there's some others like me who probably have it worse. They missed the Dark Katito event and whatnot. So I think for that sake, if you don't have many good Dark monsters, I think it's worth building an entire mono Dark team to help you climb through PvP, or just to help yourself nuke through like story content if you want to farm it for like sigils, or there's like a gold up event. It also helps you push through Tower of Chaos faster if you have this full nuke team. But I mean, honestly, to me, if you have Dark Katito, it's very easy. You just bring a defense break. But even if you don't, if you just have damage plus defense breaks, it'll really help you through Tower of Chaos. So let's touch over the Dark Phibian skills real quick. He's got a Adrenaline on his 5-star, which I don't really care about. But he does have a Battle Rush on critical hits. So if you ignore the fact that he has this really shitty active skill, you kind of can gem him as an attacker. He's a balanced type, and balanced units, you're really flexible with how you gem them. But since he has Battle Rush on crits, you definitely want to give him a crit gem, but otherwise I'd give him crit rate, double attack. Because if you look at his stats at Evo 3 level 60, he actually has very good defensive stats. I don't think there's much good reason to give him any defensive gems if you're going to use him for the sole purpose of offensive like purposes to push through content and do it faster. It's also nice because he kind of has his own SP morale boost with this Battle Rush. So he'll get his active off and nuke the waves faster. Like, he isn't the worst person to put it on if you get a Siphon set. But I feel like by then you would have better mods. But my point is, if you're like an early or a mid-game player, or you're like me on my Sheena 13 account and you're trying to progress the late game, but you missed a lot of good Dark mons from Rebirth, whatnot, Dark Phibian isn't the worst thing to raise. If you gem him offensively and you use him as such, he won't let you down. But this is just all theorycraft and sort of what I also saw on a comment on a Reddit thread about discussing these light Dark Phibians. So if you disagree with me, feel free to do so. Opinions are opinions. They're meant to be disagreed or agreed with. But I think for the rest of the sake of this video, I'll just go over the Artemises and give my opinions on it. So these are the new Nat 5s you get from Heroes Fest, which is, for me, is coming in like 2 days. I'm probably not going to do it on my Sheena 13 account, but I'll do it on Irevon here. I looked over my mon box and Samuel told me the same thing. It's pretty close to some Evo 3 Odins and Evo 3ing a Valk. So I'll probably just try to go for the Odins. And yeah, I'm gonna gem farm on 2 accounts. It's gonna be so awful. I have to slime because on my other account I want to get the Wild Fang package, which I'm pretty confident that's gonna be the next light dark package. if you watch one of Fantasy Gaming's earlier videos, he touched upon how they buffed these like 4 Nat 4s, and 3 of them have been released as light dark packages, which were the Succubus, Tiger, Loki ones, and the last one they buffed was the Wild Fangs, and she hasn't been out as a package yet, so it's pretty safe to say that she will be the next package. Either way, let's go to the Artemises. Fire one here is a tank. Evo 3, she has decently high health, 37k, and she also has pretty high attack for a tank. She's got 2.7k. Her skills are a 70% chance to stun for 2 turns and a taunt. I feel like at best she could be used for PV defense with a CC and whatnot. And I think it's not the worst idea to stick in an attack gem. Like, you can go HP attack defense. And people would at first probably ignore your Fire Artemis, thinking it doesn't pose any damage threat. But maybe the hidden attack gem could actually screw them over. Either way, that's for people who get a Fire Artemis to test out. But I think based on her stats and her pretty high attack stat alone, that isn't actually the worst idea to do. Anyways, let's see. Next one here, Water Artemis. You're gonna tell she has a double stab. And it's more or less, she's more or less a Water Yuki, except with better percentages. But I feel like, yeah, she's a better Water Yuki, and you know, Sap's really great for the boss on GB10, but eventually you're going to feed your Water Artemis away to Evo 3, another one. That's about it. All I can say about the Water one. And this is the Wood Artemis here. This is the last one you can actually get from Heroes Fest. You know, there have been a lot of threads saying, you know, can you get the Light Dark Heroes Fest mons? You know, they're in the Astro Guide. They must be obtainable in the game. Well, you know, they really aren't, you know. And I know it's hard to accept the truth sometimes, but I'm just going to say it here. 433 just wants to cuck you. Like, they want to make you think they're in the game, so you're going to, like, I don't know, do some bullshit, like spend all your crystals on those, like, light dark eggs, or those, like, legendary dark eggs, that, whatever those eggs that cost like 1,000 crystals. Like, they want to cuck you, they want to make you buy it, and then you're going to fit in rage, and they want you to, like, throw more of your fucking money on the game because you think light dark hero fest mons are in the game. So I'm just going to say it once and for all, you're not getting Heroes Fest mons, like, you're not getting the light dark ones ever, unless they introduce some new way in the game to get it. Like, you're not gonna get a light dark Senzang, you're not getting a light dark Shinobi, you're not getting a light dark on my OGs, yada yada, because you have to summon them from the special shop, and the only eggs that special shop purchases give you are high secret eggs. That's all you're opening. You're just buying 11 high secret eggs from the special shop, so you're not getting light dark mons ever. But let's look at the rest of the Artemises anyways, just in case they ever bring in a game. You can look back on this video and other videos about it. But let's see, Wood Artemis, she's an attacker. She's got HP Siphon on both 3 and 5 stars. So this is more or less like same skills as where is she? Oh yes, the Water Valkyrie. Kinda, but Water Val I meant Wood Valk, my bad. But Wood Valkyrie has set percentages, while she has a proportion. So it's really nice that she's an attacker. She's just 3.5k, and yeah, there's no debate about this. I think out of the RGB Artemises, she is the best, both in looks and probably the skills. She has very strong self-sustain, and her 5-star heals her allies based on damage dealt, so you don't have to, doesn't have any sort of adrenaline bullshit. You can go like either like triple attack or something if you ever Evo 3, or like PvP offense, or you can do like a crit rate gem, you know, but feel free to go all offense out on your Wood Artemis if you get her, and if you do get her, then every fucker you know around you is going to be jealous. Anyways, let's go to the light dark Artemises. As you can see, the light one, as I said before, isn't in the game, but if they ever bring a way to get it, then this would be really stupid. But because how do I say it? Light Artemis has double elemental edge, on her 3 and 5 star. So I mean, I really don't have much else to say besides that she'll be doing crap tons of damage if we ever get her. And I think she has the exact same stats. Oh, no, they don't have the exact same stats, but I almost thought Wood and Light have the exact same stats. They have the same attack, but I think they pumped, like, some of her health out and put it into recovery for some fucking reason, even though, like, they probably know recovery is just a dog shit stat. But, you know, whatever. Maybe they'll change it one day. Alright, let's go to the Dark Artemis. Dark Artemis here is a defender. She has Adrenaline and Silence, which actually is pretty underwhelming, in my opinion. Because she has this Adrenaline, but she's a defender, so she doesn't necessarily have the highest HP. And then her active is just a Silence. Well, it is an 80% chance Silence for 2 turns, but it just feels like the Adrenaline doesn't fit a defender type. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. I don't know why 433 does this bullshit where they like make some mon that doesn't even have very high health or something, and then they just give it an Adrenaline. But I don't know, if they ever bring her in the game and you somehow pull a Dark Artemis, she'll be good simply because of the passive healer for GB10. Otherwise, I don't think she's that great anywhere else. Yeah, this fucking... They just slapped on some random bullshit onto her, but I guess the last thing I can go over is her leader skill, which is just resistance to dungeons, which isn't mega useful. Really, the best leader skills are the ones that are universal. So, I mean, this is just resistance in dungeons, which isn't the worst thing in the world, but not the best either. And yeah, I guess that's about it for my 2 cents on these new mons in the game. But I think before I end this video, I'm just going to say a last like sort of PSA thing about new content. Since I'm introducing and talking about new mons, I guess I'll talk about the new Colossus dungeon and sort of my short PSA about it. I think we've all come to a consensus that the other floors are just fucking awful and they're not worth doing. So if you want the 4-star skill book, just spam B1 100 times. You just bring your best nukers to CB1. Bring like defense downers and then your best nukers. That's really all I can recommend team building wise. Even I can do it on my Shina 13 account. It's not 100% stable. It's not 100% stable on this account either for some reason. Sometimes I fail. I'll just show you one run of it. And I guess we'll call it quits for this video, but I've actually asked a friend of mine, I think I'll like link his name and I'll link a spreadsheet that he made. My friend Willow, he sort of made a spreadsheet calculating whether or not there's a profit margin that he earns from CB1, and it's a slight profit, so you're better off doing this if you really want the skill book. All the other floors just cost too much stamina for the rewards that they give you, and you're not even given very high quality gems. Like, even in the higher floors, it's still like, you still get 4 or 5-star gems, and none of the new gem sets are particularly great. It's not anything you look at and you tell yourself that, you know, you must have it. It's not like the dragon gems that you get from dragons, like Siphoning, Leech, and Pugilist sets that can be game changers for certain mons, certain parts of the game. But from what I've heard, dragons used to also be really shit. And hopefully 433 just changes the rewards in Colossus, so it's worth doing. But for now, this is all you actually want to do if you want the 4-star skill book for your Yukis, your Boltwings, and Succubuses. I'll probably do it on this account. Samo actually has a built Yuki, a built Succubus, and the Boltwing. I think they're all fire ones, so I guess it's worth doing for me on this account, as long as I'm profiting also. So it'd be tedious, but if you don't have any of those mons otherwise, I don't really necessarily recommend doing it either way. I mean, if you really insist on hoarding it for the future, then go for it, but I feel like, at least on my other account where I don't have built Yukis or any build succubuses or bolt wings. The 100 runs are just too much of a time waste. Because I have other things I want to do, like progress in golems, or not in golems, but dragons, or build better teams for PvP offense and whatnot. Like I'm trying to build like a pseudo shitty mono dark team. Like I know I don't have the event mons on my other account. All I have are like I have one dark cat, I have a dark monkey, which I probably will not use. I got a dark Gemini from the event. I have a dark Wildfang from Egg and a dark Coco from Rebirth, and I'll probably just use those. It isn't the worst thing. Dark Coco variant is an attack lead, so that's about it. Hope you enjoyed.